Hi, welcome back to Real Auto Reports here at Real Auto Ranch. This is the Real First Impressions video edition on the 2013 Toyota Camry Hybrid. This is the XLE, so it's going to be your top of the line, and we're going to give you our first impressions once again, because we saw this car in 2012 too. So we'll let you know if there's any differences, and well, maybe we have a different opinion this time. So join us. Okay, so from the front, the thing that I notice is that, well, there's not a lot of change. Well, that's not really a big surprise. 2012 was the first model year. But the Barcelona red and the black give totally different impressions. So if you see our 2012 first impression, it's very different from this one to me. I think this red really spices up this front end, makes it a lot more, I don't know, emotional, passionate maybe. I love the way that Toyota has redesigned this front end and given it a nice smooth look around the front. You can see the designs coming back through the fenders, and you've got a little bit of detail down here in the bottom with the fog lights and the way this front air dam gives you a little bit of aggression. More aggression, I think, than the Camry has had in decades. So I think this car is changing with the times, and in 2013, a model year after we saw the black one that we tested, I think that they have really gotten it right for the Camry buyer. It's still subdued, but it has a little bit more spice than it has in the past. All right, so from the side, again, no changes from the previous real first impression, but the thing I did want to point out is just how tidy this car is. It's a subdued look. Notice that you don't have a ton of sculpting in the side, but you do have this body line that runs right here through the belt line. You've got nice placement of the door handles, and indeed, the front one integrates with that body line detail. You also have the 17-inch rims, but notice how they're not super flashy. They don't have a lot of detail, they're not chrome, they're just alloy wheels, and they do a great job of just tying the side together and making it look like a nice four-door sedan. You do have blind spot monitoring in the side, but notice up here, I'm going to run around to the front, there's no turn signal indicators here in the mirror. That's something that you're going to see in other vehicles in this class and in this price point. So there are a few things that I think Toyota could add just to add some safety and some, changing with the time features. But let's take a look at the back. All right, so from the back, this is a nice design, I think, for the Camry, and it continues to really, I think, strike me in the fact that it's a better design than previous generations. It's got a little bit more character, a little bit more flair, and in the red, you don't notice the taillights as much as you do in the darker colors, so it really changes the personality of the car. But I do like this strong chrome accent here in the back with the Toyota badge. Notice it has the blue halo in it. That's kind of a signature for their hybrid models. And the other thing you'll notice as you come back is this one does have a tailpipe. And a lot of the hybrids don't, but this has that visual package, so you get that nice chrome tailpipe still back there. And I like this feature. When you pop the trunk, it does lift up and open for you. And you can do that as long as you have the key in your pocket. If you have the key still inside the car, it won't let you open the trunk, and they think that's a safety feature. I think it's annoying. But anyway, 13 plus cubic feet back here in the trunk, and the Camry is one of the few hybrids that will let you pass things through on the one side of the rear back seat. And that is an added feature that you're going to want to take into consideration, especially if you go skiing and you don't put stuff out on the outside of your car and you want to stick it through on the inside. Also helps you when you're trying to carry extra stuff, but it won't be as flexible as a full fold down back seat. So you'll want to keep that in mind. From the driver's seat, again, the Camry is really well put together in this new generation. In this XLE model, you're going to have leather seats with the suede insert. You're going to have power. You're going to have all the steering wheel controls that you could ever want, maybe more than you could want, including the display change for the eco and the trip computer functions in the middle, right under the speedometer. You're going to have your sound functions for your stereo here, the volume up and down on one side. You're going to have cruise control, all sorts of things you can do right here from the wheel to help you keep your eye on the road. The other thing that's nice about this interior for 2013 2013 and back to 2012 with the redesign, is that it is probably one of the nicest Camry interiors I have seen Toyota do in my life. And that's really saying something, because Toyota has been known for kind of quirky, maybe drab interiors, whereas this really feels more like a Lexus GS, more like a luxury car. And you're going to find that pretty much up and down the line now, with changes in 2013 where they have increased the quality of the materials in the low-end Camry models. So you're getting more standard padding and vinyl applications and things like that on the armrest, so that it feels more quality-oriented, more high value. And that's what Toyota is going for, and these Camrys do a great job. So let's take a look at what powers this car under the hood. All right, so under the hood, as I've mentioned before, this is the Hybrid Synergy drive. It is 40 miles per gallon capable in the city and combined in 38 out on the highway. But what you really want to know is that it is an inline 4, and it is paired to the electric motor system, which gives you a total combined horsepower of about 200. This car has a smooth application of power because it does have a continuously variable transmission. So it's going to kind of feel like it has a turbo to some degree, because you're getting that smooth electric application of power right from the dead stop, all that torque, and then it smoothly applies that gasoline engine. From a first impressions perspective, this car has one of the smoothest transitions I have found in these sedans, from gas to electric, electric to gas, and both either way you go, this car, you hardly notice the transition. And that's really what you want when you buy a hybrid, because as the future goes on, I predict people will drive more hybrids, but they really just won't want to know what it's doing. They'll want to have the type of car, the type of performance they want, and the driving feeling, while still getting all of those benefits that the hybrid can bring you. So let's see how this thing drives out on the road. All right, so from the driver's seat, this real first impressions video, what is it that we're seeing in the 2013 Toyota Camry Hybrid? Now, we looked at the 2012 model as well, the black one, on our YouTube page. And so what we wanted to tell you from a first impressions is, has anything changed about how we feel about this car now that we haven't seen it for several months? I think it's been about 8 or more. So what is different? Well, what we notice is that, once again, when you get into the Camry and you take off, and we're just going to check both ways here, and we take off down the road, this car is super quiet, super smooth. It's got a nice steering feel, but it is very light. You know, it's got that electric sense about it, but it doesn't feel like it's not connected. It's just a very smooth car. Now, the other thing that I notice immediately when I get into this car is how clear it is to see all of the hybrid features. You've got your eco gauge on the left, your miles per gallon on the right, and you've also got the fuel gauge and this not color but digital display in the front here in the middle of the speedometer that shows you things like the eco drive level, that stair steps your average miles per gallon since starting, and you can flip through that to show all sorts of things. Now, it does seem a little low level, considering that a lot of the cars now are going to a full color display. But the biggest thing I noticed from first impression getting in this car is just how quiet and smooth it drives. It is just not unsettled by big bumps. It's quiet, and I think that that's the great thing. You don't even realize this thing is running when it's in EV mode. It is so quiet you can hear the whir of that they put in there so people can hear it coming. And I think that's pretty interesting. So first impressions, it's a Toyota. It's maybe not super exciting, but it's quiet, it's refined, and you know it's going to get you where you're going to go. We'll have more details in our real video, the real review. Make sure you stay tuned for that, and we'll have the wrap-up for you next. All right, so that's the real first impressions video edition on this 2013 Toyota Camry Hybrid. As I mentioned, it is the XLE, so it's going to be your top of the line. It's about $35,000 as tested. It'll do 40 miles per gallon in town, and that's the combined rating, but it'll still do 38 miles per gallon out on the freeway, which is not bad for a 200 combined horsepower vehicle. So you get a little bit from the engine, a little bit from the electric motors, and all in all, we know that Toyota is the leader in the hybrid market. But we have a comparison coming up with the Toyota Camry Hybrid we have here and the 2013 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. So that's a real comparison you want to keep a lookout for. And we have the real video, all the details on this car coming up as well, right here from Real Auto Ranch on Real Auto Reports. I'm Jonathan McGrew, and we'll see you down the road.